thing with that, what's great, I think is great, you can lift weights, you can run hills, you can do anything you want to do. There is still a thing called football shape. Getting into football shape. How do you get into football shape? By playing football. And playing at that fast tempo where not only we have to think faster, and that's good for us. Because, a lot of, there are times when you've got to adjust to that at other places. Well, here, we don't. We're used to play. That's normal. So if someone wants to come and hurry up offense or 2-minute offense or air raid, whatever you call it, it's not a problem. We're pretty used to it. And I think that's the thing that's amazing is when I see the team period, how many plays he wants, I look and I think and I go, that's a long time. But it goes fast. You guys see it. I'm getting accustomed to that too. It's like I tell people, it's good to have film here. So you can see it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming, guys.
Did you have to reach out to guys you knew about coaching defensive line? Because it's about the one position you hadn't coached. Did you have to change some things with you or learn something?
No, I think every coach reaches out all the time, whether we've been at one doing the same thing all the time. You try to learn and keep up with it. I have had some experience when you're a coordinator. You know a little bit about everything and sometimes a lot about nothing. But you do know the defensive line. I had that a few years back when our outside linebackers were playing. Really, one of our guys wasn't anything but a defensive end. It's just how we labeled him. Back in the days in the late '80s and stuff, we were playing that. So I'm a little bit familiar with that. We have played this scheme. We have had the same type of scheme, just in different situations. Obviously, not as much numbers-wise, but we have had that scheme.
It was more of an even front at Penn State than an odd front. Is that a big difference?
No. Even here, we're multiple front.
Mm-hmm.
We're multiple front, do multiple things. I think we've been pigeonholed as one thing. We're not that. We're multiple front. We run multiple coverages. We do multiple things all the time. No different than at Penn State. Just because you start off at even. I mean, we were being as much odd some games as because we had that flexibility to do different things.
Can you not be just one thing? Like I said, 70s and 80s, you could sit in one defense. Is that impossible?
It's not one defense. I think it was easier to do in the 80s and certainly the early 90s because the personnel groupings told you everything. If they come out and, two tight ends, you kind of knew what you were going to get. Now they come out two tight ends. It can be anything. It can be empty. Back in the 80s, who would have thought two tight ends going empty? You're getting ready. You're buckling your chin strap with two tight ends. Now, there's no personnel grouping you can lay your hat on. Is 21 personnel on the power group? No, because now these wideouts, the running backs go out and play wideout. So there's so many different things that people do that can do to you to disrupt you. So now one of the things you have to be able to do more so than anything on defense is understand leverage, numbers, vertical entries to your defense. You better be able to tackle in space. Everybody has to tackle in space now, not just the corners. Football keeps evolving. It started off, let's make the corners tackle. Then it became, let's high-low the linebackers, right? And then it went to another. Now you got linebackers in space. I mean, the body types are different, these positions. The tempo certainly now, it's harder to scheme, get calls in. Now you have to practice constantly. Everybody on the same, maybe God forbid years ago, do you think that any of the down guys actually knew the signals? Be honest. Yeah. One guy knew the signals. This ain't the pros when you call it, through the helmet. I mean, how many guys know the signals? One guy, maybe two, maybe somebody in the secondary, one guy now. Everybody has to know, but then again, they're on college. They all can learn, right?
So, Coach, when you talk about having multiple looks and things like that, we're not talking about 3 down linemen all the time. We could be talking about 4. We could be talking about blitzing linebackers. We could be talking about putting linebackers up in the middle.
Multiple front, multiple.
And isn't that the key to stopping a lot of the getting pressure? I mean, on a lot of the situations today.
To come at him. Now if you have, let's be honest, if we had 2 ends like Reggie White, okay, maybe our life would be good. But you have personnel, so you're going to utilize your personnel. What's best for each game? That's one of the great things you want to have built into your defense is maximum flexibility to do all kinds of different things.
And that's where depth comes in, doesn't it? That's where you got to have depth.
You got to have some depth because you know what, you're going to need it as the season progresses. You'd like to stay injury free, but I look back over the years and it never works out well. I think one year I had a chance where everybody that started the year went through the whole year, and it was a great year. teaching was easy. Everybody knew it, and it was fun to go each every day. But that's not going to happen. The guys are going to hurt. You got to have depth, and the next guy's got to be ready to step up. You know, the next guy's got to man up and get in there and do. So that's one of the things you try to do in preseason, develop that depth. And it's like it happens in preseason. We had some guys go down yesterday, not for extended periods, but the next man up's got to be ready to play.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
You got it.